It did not begin with a vision of connection. It began with a vision of annihilation. In the early 1960s, the world teetered on the precipice of the Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States military faced a terrifying strategic reality. Their command and control infrastructure was centralized. It relied on circuit switching, the physical connection of copper wires through central hubs. If a Soviet strike took out a single critical node, the entire network would collapse. The president would be unable to speak to his generals. The silence would be total. Enter Paul Barron, a researcher at the RAND Corporation. In 1962, he proposed a radical, almost heretical idea. Instead of a centralized hierarchy, he envisioned a distributed network, a mesh. If one path was destroyed, the message would simply find another way. To achieve this, Barron, and independently Donald Davies in the UK, conceptualized packet switching. The idea was to chop data into small, labeled blocks, packets. These packets were like postcards sent through different mail routes, only to be reassembled at the destination. It was resilient, it was chaotic, and, crucially, it was survivable. By the late 1960s, the Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA, began to turn this theory into reality. They were guided by the philosophy of J.C.R. Licklider, a visionary who dreamt not just of bomb-proofing, but of an intergalactic computer network where humans and machines would coexist in symbiosis. The moment of conception arrived on October 29, 1969. In a small, nondescript room at UCLA, a student programmer named Charlie Klein sat at a terminal. His goal? To log into a computer at the Stanford Research Institute, 350 miles away. He typed L. Stanford received the L. He typed O. Stanford received the O. He typed G. And the system crashed. Lo, that was the first message ever sent across the precursor to the internet. As if to say, lo and behold, a clumsy, broken beginning for a system that would one day carry the weight of the entire world. The ARPANET was born. Throughout the 1970s, computer networks multiplied. There was the ARPANET on land, PRNET over radio waves, and SatNet across the Atlantic via satellite. But there was a problem. They spoke different languages. A computer on a radio network could not easily talk to one on a satellite network. It was a digital Tower of Babel. Two men, Vince Cerf and Bob Kahn, stepped forward to solve this chaos. In 1974, they published a paper describing a protocol, a set of rules, that would act as a universal translator. They called it the Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol, or TCP/IP. Think of it as a standard shipping container. It doesn't matter if the container is on a ship, a train, or a truck. The goods inside remain safe, and the container fits everywhere. On January 1st, 1983, a day known as Flag Day, ARPANET officially switched to TCP/IP. In that microsecond, disparate networks fused into a single, interconnected whole. We no longer had networks. We had the internet. But this internet was stark. It was a void of black screens and glowing green text, navigable only by scientists and coders. It was a highway system without cars, billboards, or maps. That changed in 1989 at CERN in Switzerland. An English physicist named Tim Berners-Lee was frustrated by how hard it was to share information. He proposed a system to link documents together using hypertext. He didn't invent the internet. He invented the World Wide Web, the application that runs on top of the internet. He gave us the URL to find things, HTTP to link them, and HTML to display them. And he did something remarkable. He gave it away for free. When the Mosaic browser launched in 1993, allowing images to exist alongside text, the internet ceased to be an academic curiosity. It became a destination. The floodgates opened. The mid-90s saw the dot-com gold rush, a period of irrational exuberance and spectacular crashes. But beneath the financial volatility, the infrastructure was hardening. Dial-up screeching gave way to the silent speed of broadband. The wires that once carried voices were now carrying the sum of human knowledge. Then came the final severance from the desktop. In 2007, the release of the iPhone merged the internet with the telephone. The network was no longer a place you went to sit down at. It became a layer of reality you carried with you. The feedback loop envisioned by Paul Barron in the 60s had reached its zenith. A network designed to survive nuclear winter had become the engine of modern commerce. culture, and connection. In less than a single human lifetime, we have moved from LO to a hyper-connected species. We have built a digital nervous system that spans the globe. It has democratized information and concentrated power. It has bridged oceans and built echo chambers. But whether for liberation or control, the history of the internet is the history of how we decided, finally, to never be alone again.